What's up, y'all? I'm Lady, and today I am back with another book talk. In today's video, I want to discuss Butter Honey Pig Bread by Francesca Ekwuyasi. This is the book here. This book was published in September of 2020, and I read this book over the course of 8 days. I was able to enjoy the physical book as well as the audio book. I do recommend the audio. I thought that the narration was great. Overall, I enjoyed this book, but it was a sad book for sure. There was some humor throughout the book, which made it a really great read, okay? So this book follows Cameronacci. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, or let's just call her Cammy, and her twin daughters, Kayinde and Taye. They're estranged from one another because of a trauma that Kayinde experienced during childhood. And so Cammy, she believes that she's an Obajan, I think is how that's pronounced, which is a non-human spirit that plagues a family with misfortune by being born and then dying in childhood to cause a human mother misery, right? So you get a lot of that in the beginning of the story. We are following Cammy as she is in the spirit realm and is being born and then dying several times. However, after her last birth, she makes the choice to stay alive. She grows up, she has a family of her own, but she lives in fear of the consequences of her decision to stay alive. So as she grows, and we are then introduced to her twin daughters. Kayinde, because of that trauma that she faced as a child, she left home as soon as finishing high school and pretty much cut off contact with her mother and sister. Then we have Taye, who is dealing with the guilt and the emotions that come from the trauma that her sister suffered. So she moves away as well, and she, self-medicates with all the drugs, and she how should I say, tries to fill the void with love and with, and going out and being with various women and things like that. So a decade passes and the sisters return to their home, which is in Lagos, to be with their mother. And pretty much the journey of their healing and coming back together begins. This novel was gorgeously written, okay? And several times I sat after reading a passage or description, I just end up just, sitting, closing the book and just staring off and thinking, oh, that was so well said. Oh, I just love how that was described. Several times I experienced that, and it just made me to stop and reflect and while reading this book. What I will tell you is to not expect a plot. This story is totally character driven. And even the backgrounds of minor characters are described very well in this book, and you'll even grow to love some of those minor characters. Okay, in the beginning, I spent all my time while reading the book like, what is this trauma? What happened in their childhood that caused this separation? And then after that was revealed, I just spent my time, getting to know these characters as they're on their journey. We flash back to when Cammy, as she's growing up, as she meets the twins' fathers, how they fall in love, what happens in their marriage. And then we follow the twins as their lives separate and they go different places, London, Montreal, Canada, until they return back to Lagos. So this story is told from the three perspectives of Cammy, Kayinde and Taye, but most of the story is told by Taye. And by the end of this story, I was just in love with her. I loved her wit, her humor, and how she described things, and just so really good. And she's a chef, so I was like, what's up with the title Butter Honey Pig Bread? And Taye cooks a lot. She cooks using all of these ingredients, and maybe there's some other like meaning behind each one of these. I don't know if I really caught that. I just know that she cooked a lot. These were some of the ingredients she used and the description of the food. And I feel like recipes, as we go through this book, was done really well. You'll definitely be hungry while reading this book. So overall, the synopsis on Goodreads says this is a story of choices and their consequences, of motherhood, of the malleable line between the spirit and the mind, of finding new homes and mending old ones, of ferocious appetite, of queer love, of friendship, faith, and above all, family. And I agree with all of that. I highly recommend this book. However, I advise to make sure that you're in the right headspace when reading this one. It is a beautifully sad book with a heartfelt ending. That's how I would describe that one. So if you have been eyeing Butter Honey Pig Bread, I strongly suggest it. Pick it up. Let me know in the comment section below if you've read this one. And I'm Lady. I will see you all in my next video. Bye, y'all.